right, viewers, let's start with the latest updates coming in from the Iran war. Now, reports claim that Iran has fired a ballistic missile that struck an Israeli drone factory, hitting the roof and impacting the facility. The target has been identified as Aerosol, a company that supplies drones to defense and government clients. The strike directly hit the production line, causing damage inside the facility. Joining me now for this discussion is Group Captain UK Devnath, who's our defense expert. Group Captain, thank you very much for joining us and a very good afternoon to you. What do you make of the precision of the strikes that are being launched by Iran, very strategically and very precise strikes on targets that it intends to take down, including, let's also take in account the Amazon warehouse that was struck?
Yes, I must, as a military person, especially as an ex-fighter pilot, I must admire accuracy of surface-to-surface missiles being launched by Iran. Specifically because the Russian Cosmos series and the Chinese Beju satellites are helping them towards the terminal guidance. Till now, most of the world was dependent upon GPS signal of target on US-based satellite services, GPS. But now it appears that Iran has developed a system wherein initially after launch the missile moves towards the target based upon inertial navigation guidance system, and at the terminal phase, as the missile is closing in 10 kilometer, 5 kilometer, 1 kilometer, it is taking its final cue about position of the target from Russian Cosmos satellites or Chinese Beju satellites. Some of these missile strikes have been very, very accurate, plus minus 10 meter, very, very commendable from technical and military point of view. Yes.
Right, sure. Group Captain, to continue being with us, we have some more updates for our viewers. Now, Iran has released a list of potential retaliatory targets following a deadly strike on the Karaj bridge, the bridge near Karaj. The list includes 8 major bridges across the Gulf and Jordan. The move comes hours after an airstrike destroyed parts of the B1 bridge, marking the first strike on a civilian structure in the current conflict. At least 8 civilians were killed and nearly 95 others injured during the attack. Iran says the identified bridges could be targeted in response to the US-Israeli strike. Major Mohammad Ali Shah also joins us in the conversation. Now, Major Shah, what do you make of this warning from Iran saying it's also now going to retaliate and target the bridges, infrastructure of civilians, for civilians in Gulf?
Right, see, this development came hours after a powerful airstrike that destroyed parts of B1 bridge near Karaj. Now, this was making the first time a civilian structure has been targeted by the United States since the conflict began, So at least I am told that 8 civilians were killed in the strike, according to an Associated Press report. And Iran state media, they cited authorities in Al-Borz province. They said that 95 others were injured. Many of them had gathered under the bridge and along the riverbank to celebrate the Nature Day when the attack took place. The B1 bridge, which is a newly constructed structure which was connecting Tehran and Karaj, that was scheduled to open later this year. Now, when Iran has set out a list of targets, the FAR's reports, they had reported that several bridges across Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Jordan have been identified and a potential target of Iranian military operations in retaliation to the US-Israeli attack on the B1 bridge in Karaj. You know what happens when there's a war? There is a lot of misinformation. That's called the information warfare. The first casualty, before even the first bullet is fired, is the casualty of the truth, of information. We saw it ourselves firsthand during last year, during Operation Sindoor time. There was a lot of misinformation from both sides, specifically from Pakistan side, that this happened, that's happened, this city has been captured, that's what happened, and people don't know what's happening in a conflict zone. So yes, there have been reports, there has been news coming in, but again, I would say that we don't know the reliability of whatever news comes from conflict zone. We don't know the reliability. We can't really say that so and so thing must have happened, so and so not. Now the bridges they also include Sheikh Jabbar Al Ahmad Al Sabah Bridge, that's in Kuwait. King Fahd Causeway linking Saudi Arabia and Bahrain. In fact, King Fahd Causeway, which is linking Saudi Arabia and Bahrain, which is linking Dammam and Bahrain. In fact, I personally have very fond memories of that. It's a very long bridge. In fact, we were told at that time it's perhaps the longest bridge in the world. So we were told that we were like, oh, quite fascinated by that. So now when that has been targeted, it's indeed very alarming. Sheikh Zayed Bridge, in fact, Al Maqda Bridge in the UAE, as well as the King Hussein Bridge, the Damia Bridge, Sheikh Khalifa Bridge, the Adon Bridge in Jordan, in fact. So I will tell you, our experience in Jordan. When we were in Jordan, we were at the Dead Sea, and we were told across the lights you see, that's of Israel, and that side is Jerusalem. So I can, every single thing when the news comes before my eyes. It's like a flash, completely. You know, it's so close. We have seen it very closely. So now, when Donald Trump has warned of further strikes, the U.S. President Donald Trump, you know, he's actually gone a bit senile, I would say, because earlier he had said he's finished off the leadership of Iran. If he's finished off the leadership of Iran, then he says he's talking to the leadership of Iran. So which leadership is he talking to? On one hand, he says he's finished the leadership. On the other hand, he says he's talking to Iran. Now, he had signaled a possible escalation. That was warning further strikes on Iran, right? He had earlier posted videos of perpetually showing the bombing of Karaj Bridge. And the US military, there has been a shift in they have sacked the army chief because he had a difference of opinion with the defense secretary in US. The attorney general also has been removed. Donald Trump had announced that the attorney general, she's taking over, she's entering the private sector. The US military hasn't even, rather I would say, they have started destroying what's left in Iran, the bridges next, then the electric power plants. Then Trump wrote on social media, you know, he's been making tall claims. Now, the very fact is Trump's lies, they were actually recorded by CNN and various other American media channels. You know, in 4 years, he has lied 31,500 and some times.
All right. Let's in fact also give some more updates now coming in from the European Union. Dmitry Medvedev has